Because one thing that people don't understand when you're in the professional rankings, and here's another part of the conversation that I had, was they assume that you just have to make weight, but there are a lot of other responsibilities to a fighter. And this is a clip that comes out of our Champions University portal that guys get behind the scene conversations and topics on. So listen to this.
WBC is a solid platform. We're always there for you. We will take care of you. We take care of the fighters. If you fight for the WBC, you have to submit specific medicals. You have to weigh yourself 30 days, 14 days, 7 days before the fight. You will be in a anti-doping program. We protect you because boxing, a boxer is a gladiator. If they were told to fight 50 rounds or 10-minute rounds or fight every week, they would do it because they are warriors.
Mm-hmm. And so you may see now that there are other components that boxing will require. So you can't try to cut weight by taking diuretics and stuff, because you have doping protocols. And if any ingredients on your menu,
it just takes a little
match with anything over there, boom, now you're going to be pointed and highlighted as someone who uses enhancement. Mm-hmm. And enhancements will ruin your career. It'll ruin your reputation. A lot of athletes are simply putting foods in their mouths that they don't know about. This is where you learn from a dietitian coach and make sure that you have specialists around you. That's what number 2 is. It's about lifestyle. And like you heard Mauricio Sulaiman tell me directly, you must be prepared for what else you have to be on point for, other than just the scale, because the scale comes around when you got fights. Mm-hmm. They come around every week or so to test you and make sure. It's a lot more responsibility. You want to be prepared. And see, this is what happens when you learn what you got to be prepared for. You can be prepared for it. So if some of you are living a particular lifestyle, if you're over consuming, or if you feel like you're too big, if you can't see your axis points, you're too big. That means anywhere that there's a bend in the bone. If you can't see those bones, that means you're not within your avatar. That means you can come down a minimal of 10 pounds to 15 pounds. So if you're fighting at 147 and you walk around at 149, then you're working out of a different weight class than you should be in. You should be where your body is svelte, like you look like you swim for a living. You can operate a different way. When you're boxing, you feel just fluid, fast, explosive, and extremely strong. Mm-hmm. And strong to the bone. And that's your avatar. So that's lifestyle. Cut out that alcohol, or understand how to flush your body and put things in you that decrease inflammation, like turmeric and ginger and key limes, things that balance, create alkalinity and reduce inflammation, and that drops pounds. So lifestyle is key. It's more to it than just, hey, I hang out, or, I'm just eating at McDonald's. You must understand the rules and the laws and principles of the physical body. The anatomy is a big deal. Let's go to the third one, Stace.
Yeah. So the number 3 is EQ. Boom. So with that being said, what I want you to do first, Coach, is number 1, define it. What does that mean for anybody that's listening that may not know what EQ is? And then let's dive in and speak to how that impacts a fighter in the ring.
Yeah. Well, obviously, IQ is your level of intelligence. EQ is your emotional intelligence, or lack thereof. So when you see someone get upset or aggravated or agitated if you're watching a basketball game, the coach Bobby Knight throws the chair across the floor, or Draymond Green gets a tech in the first quarter, and Steph Curry is just kind of like, he shows EQ. He shows a high EQ. He doesn't allow it to rattle him, even though he's devastated, because he knows that for the next 3.5 quarters, they got to play one of the toughest teams in the NBA. But he holds composure. He bites down. He sheds his tears, and he refocuses in the moment. Pronto, that's high EQ. If you're a low EQ, you're argumentative. You do an interview about it at halftime, and you bash your teammate. You don't think things through, and 99% of the time, what you feel when you're upset and rattled based on a low EQ, you regret saying or doing that thing later. You never feel good about it, and EQ sets you up. So with that being said, you will be projected to do things like getting therapy and sports psychiatrists and having the right people, mentorship, coaching. That's how you remedy that. And how you remedy the other number two is the lifestyle, is getting life skill coaches, nutrition and dietitians a part of your life. And once again, mentorship, where you can have someone to bounce conversations off of how you're dealing with. Maybe you're dealing with the people that you're dating and they aren't a perfect person, or just the circle that you're hanging around. You need to get consulting so that you can make business decisions with your career. And the first issue is techniques and skills and incompetence. Where you're going to need help there is making sure that you got proper lineage, experience, and people who are experts in the areas, because those are the areas that no matter how good you do everything else, those are the areas that shine the most. If they don't know how to call the fight in the corner, that's a problem. If you come into that fight lacking a skill, that's a problem. So you get that with proper coaching, training, and boxing systems. And it's obviously that's one of the things that we do well, is to make sure that you have a boxing system. And let's not forget how important that the coaching in the corner, these different individuals wear different caps. And that's where our program that we have called the Coach's Corner, that's where you go figure out all of these other things. And they all reside in one amazing place. And what is that place called?
Champions
University. And it's the reason why is because, you have to understand how to be made a champion. You're not just born with champion pedigree. There's a process that goes around it. As you just heard it, if you knew all of the things that you need to know, then you'd understand, it's going to take more than me having a lot of speed or power. You can't win a championship and keep it with an attribute. We call that attribute training. And you can't depend on that, because what happens when you get educated as a fighter is you learn how to take away everybody's good attributes, their height, their reach, their power, their speed. That's one of the main reasons great fighters like Sweet Pea, Willie Pep, Floyd, James Toney, Dwight Muhammad Cowie, they were legends, because they could strip you of what you had and beat you up that way. So remember that. So those are the three things that could happen on that scale, and that is the recipe. As we show you, here's one of the things that I want you guys to take away is, Stacy, you show them like pretty much when you got that situation, as we looked at the zoo fight this weekend, there was a lot of incompetence there. And we put what we call the situational scenarios into play. And that's a situation, like we created this program specifically inside of the Champions University. That is our Art of Sparring situational guide. What happens when you are cut? What happens when you suffer a low blow? What happens when you have to go down and take a knee? You have to plan for that, like you practice your jab.
Definitely.
situational. So if you don't have application, as you remember me dating back to that conversation at the beginning, if you don't have application, you'll just gaze over these things. And that's what happens. And we found that to happen over the past 3 decades, that guys gazed over particular important things. Coach Belichick coached in the NFL for a couple of decades before he got Tom Brady, and he got a system that he was implementing in Bill Parcells. So he took that system and ended up turning a regular good team into a 6 Super Bowl winning team. And it was because of the implementation of a system. And the difference between a program helps you accomplish a goal. A system eliminates all of the issues that you'll face, and it's timeless. So in 30 years, he'll be using the same system and processes. And so that's what we're giving you as you started off in the skills training guide. It goes up the ladder and you have all of the problems that you will face. And that helps people, don't you think? What do you think our impact has been over the past, just say 2 years? Else that you had to show them? And
No, I think we hit it all. I just wanted to, close my end of things is, as you guys are thinking about where you are in your career and where you desire to be, truly the only thing between those 2 points is knowledge and a system.
That's right.
It.
That's
it. And you don't have to feel a way. I mean, no one was born knowing this stuff.
That's right.
And that's why we're sharing it with you. So you don't have to spend decades trying to figure this mess out. We've already done it.
Yeah.
And so I just have to give props to you, Coach, for just putting these systems and platforms together for people just to take off and really change not only, their position in the game, but really their legacy. And that's just a really awesome thing to see with the folks that are kind of in our little circle here. So thank you.
Good deal. Well, I can't wait for you guys to jump on board. For quick things I have to say before you go. First of all, thanks for taking the time to watch us. Number 2, if you found this information beneficial and you feel like information like this could truly move you along your path, then all of our replays could be found over in our Instagram subscription portal and over on our Facebook subscriptions. And number 3, if your business has hit a wall and you'd like to have it looked at by a professional to see what moves would be beneficial for you, then make sure you put our name in a hat at jabjuice.com and schedule a call. And I'll see you tomorrow. So long.